It is the Three Guys Talking About podcast, back again for another week. Grant, we think, is back from Mexico. He may have just gotten kidnapped here. The cartel may have came up from Minnesota, as we still can't see here, as he goes full boomer and he just decides to leave. Here,
Can't figure out how to flip his phone back.
the dad of the show can't figure out how to flip his camera around, so he just decided to leave. And
I'm back.
He's back. He's back. Grant is back. Here,
Yeah,
Ethan and I held it down last week. We've got a good show for you here. It's going to be kind of the same as now football season is in session. We've actually had our first two head coach firings in college football this year. Virginia Tech job is open. The UCLA job is open. There could be a few more that are going to be opening here up soon. But, guys, welcome back. Grant, it appears, is still loyal to the Chiefs, as there are many that are now Eagles fans, along with being Yankees and Lakers fans. Grant, we'll give him credit. It might just be because the rumor is Taylor Swift is pregnant, because she did not get shown at the game on Sunday, and they had some big thing. And my Chiefs fan boss, I bring that up, and he gets very irritated when I say that Taylor Swift is pregnant. So I'm starting to think that there might be some smoke to that fire.
Why are people so sensitive?
Who cares?
Like 10 years ago, if you would have told Chiefs fans you'd be in this situation where of the last 6 Super Bowls, your team was able to win 3 of them, play in 5, have all this success, they would, and you know what? You lost a rematch to the defending Super Bowl champs in a close game in your ballpark, yada, yada. We'll maybe talk about that game later. All of the success that they've had, if you'd have told that to them 10 years ago, they'd be the most grateful people in America. Now they're just snobs who are spoiled and get upset when the team starts 0-2 when there's 15 games left.
Champagne problems, Grant. That's what you guys got right now. It's champagne problems.
It upsets me.
It should.
Because guess what? It could be a lot worse, folks. It could be a lot worse.
You suffered through Matt Castle and Todd Haley. You can suffer through the 0-2 start to the year.
That's what I'm saying. And then also a year with Romeo Crennel and Brady Quinn. And
that's right.
It's like, come on, guys. Just remember where you were. It's okay. In the words of Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax.
Yep. And we'll get into the recap here as I get everything set up and posted to our socials. But fellas, what do you guys want to start with? You want to start with the NFL recap or the college football recap?
Let's do college football.
Start with college football. All right.
Why not?
Unpin. Pin. Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, with the first pick here of the and I will say that this was a very interesting weekend of. I didn't have a chance to really get to watch a lot of football all weekend because Saturday I was at a golf scramble and I kind of had it on, and then I had to went to Medora. Family was in town. And then Sunday, we had family over at my parents' house, and it was on, but wasn't really able to pay a whole lot of attention to it. And then we had a very interesting situation that happened Friday night that I won't get into, that we had to finish our game on Monday. So we had practice Sunday afternoon, so I didn't get to watch much of the Chiefs game. I got to watch the last 3 minutes of it. So this, my knowledge here of what happened, so I'm going to really rely on you two to fill me in on what was happening here. But with the first pick, it is going to be me. Second pick is going to be Grant, and last but definitely not least, Ethan here. So my college football team of the week is going to be the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, when we previewed this game, because this was my game of the week, I said that the team that gets out to the fast start is going to win. Tennessee did. And it felt like Tennessee controlled it for most of the game. And they got up 21-7. And it felt like Neyland was rocking. Our friends over at Armchair Banner, one of the guys was at the game, said it was it was the loudest venue that he has ever been to here. And that championship DNA in Georgia is still there. They still got some killers on that team. Also, I think Josh Heupel somewhat coached like a pussy, especially towards the end of the game where they got to the edge of field goal range and then just kind of mailed it in, and then having a false start bit them in the ass where they had to go back even longer. They missed it, and then in overtime, that Georgia defense felt like it gave them new life. They played like they were fresh, and then when the offense took the ball, it looked like they were just going to run the ball down their throat, and there was nothing Tennessee was going to be able to do about it. I also think Gunnar Stockton, we had a lot of questions, and he was probably the biggest question mark going in of what Georgia was going to get out of him this year. And he didn't play great the first two games. He played really well on Saturday. I mean, he had the one turnover, the one fumble, but outside of that, he didn't have any interceptions. He got the ball out. Those receivers that they were very aggressive in pursuing in the transfer portal this offseason have seemed to pay off. Zachariah Branch is kind of emerging as that number one guy for the Bulldogs. But Georgia, that dog ain't dead yet. So the Bulldogs are my college football team of the week.
And I think with my team, Dylan, I'm going to stay in the state of Georgia, and I'm going to go with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
You son of a gun.
And mainly Hans King. I mean, does anyone else?
Wait, who?
Is it who, they're King?
Haynes.
You said Hans.
Hans is it Hans Haynes?
It's Haynes. It's Haynes.
Oh, okay.
It sounded like you said Hans. Hans King.
Well, I'm the quarterback, the King.
Yeah.
Because
Haynes.
does no one else does more for his team, I think, on a each week basis than he does. Like this college football season, like what they ask him to do every single week. If it can last all year, I think you guys are right. Georgia Tech should be playing in an ACC title game because I think I saw the other day he had 25 rushes again, and I can't remember how many passing attempts he had when I read the stat line, but he's got to be over 50% of their total offense, each week. And you know what? He doesn't flinch. He doesn't bat an eye because he wants to go out and compete and win. And, to take down the team that we all thought was going to win the national championship this year and the team that everyone said was going to win the ACC. And if you played them in the ACC title game, you're going to have the right to lose. Well, Georgia Tech said, hey, don't forget about us. We're here to play. And to get a big win like that at home, start the year off now, 3-0? 3-0. You're ready to roll going into ACC play. And who says this team can't make the college football playoff now?
Yeah, they've set themselves up good.
Last week, this game, out of every game last week, this might have had the biggest impact on the actual college football playoff. Tennessee, Georgia, obviously that's really big too. They still have time to kind of build their resume. Clemson's running out of chances really quick. Even if they run the table in the ACC from here, win the title, they have to pretty much win the title to get in at this point. You're not going to get in at 3 losses.
Yeah, you're spot on, Ethan. Right now, Clemson is with these early season struggles. They're in the same spot they were last year. If they don't win their conference, they're not getting in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Dabo today in his press conference, or was it yesterday, going off, I don't know what the question was, but he's just going off we've been in the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, blah, blah, blah. We're still a good program. What does that have anything to do with this year? Like, you've shit the bed twice. You had 2 opportunities to really honestly be the #1 team in the country, and you screwed it up both times. Like,
And then
your offense has been horrible.
even after week 1, when he's saying, "Oh, Clemson, you grade them out, they'd be at a 65. We are at a 58. We're right there." That's a coach who's just screaming and making a lot of excuses
Yeah, doesn't want
early
to face
in the year to not want to face the noise that maybe he's not doing a good job. Maybe he's not the same Dabo that we thought he was.
And this D line that we thought was going to be dominant, they've been the opposite.
They've been awful. To start the year like this. Where is this top 5 defense that we thought they were going to have? They're non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Tom Allen was brought in to kind of assure that, and that hasn't really worked out so far. But going back to Georgia Tech, because this isn't about Clemson, we're talking about the Yellow Jackets, giving them their flowers. This is how the rest of the schedule sets up for Georgia Tech. I mean, I'm hard pressed, and knock on wood, and this is if Haynes King stays healthy. Find me the loss somewhere is Temple, at Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, at Duke, Syracuse, at NC State, possibly that could be one.
That could be one.
Boston College, Pittsburgh, and Georgia. Leading into the Georgia game, I should preface it because I don't know that's going to be a war. But outside of NC, yes, that game is at home.
Pittsburgh's in Atlanta.
Pittsburgh is in Atlanta.
Okay, yep. So that changes that game.
Interesting. Okay, man. Yeah, you could make an argument. Georgia's the only game they'll actually be an underdog. And then if they play well, they might not be.
And if they're undefeated going into that Georgia game, whatever happens in that game, I think that puts them as a lock for the college football playoff. It has to.
Yeah.
Their only blemish being Georgia, who's as it stands right now is going to be a playoff team.
So they really missed Florida State in the regular season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know what?
With Louisville.
But with these big super conferences, guys, you're going to miss usually 2 teams each year. But on paper, Clemson was supposed to be good. But then also, they missed Miami too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Sometimes it just lines up. The stars align, and their schedule just panned out well for the ACC. And for them, when you have maybe soon to be an all-time Georgia Tech player in King, it works out that way.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm staying in the Southeast for my team of the week too. I'm going with I believe they were the only non-ranked team to beat a ranked team this week, and that's the Vanderbilt Commodores going into South Carolina and actually putting a pretty big licking on them. Like, it really wasn't close. I was talking with Cody a little bit. Yeah, I was talking with Cody a little bit. They just kicked their ass, and I know Sellers got hurt, but even then, like, I think that was later.
And he hasn't looked good this year at all.
No, he hasn't. Like, the whole team has not looked good. So it's interesting watching this. South Carolina's just been this massive, big thing. Like, they're getting all these big recruits at their game. They've pretty much fallen face first in their first couple of big games of the year. So a lot of problems in Columbia, but heck of a win for Vanderbilt. And they're actually now ranked. They're number 20 this week.
I did say South Carolina was going to be my disappointing team in the SEC. Not to toot my own horn, but I figured I'd just throw that out there.
I picked Georgia Tech for the ACC title, so I'll throw that one out there.
Well, you both did.
We both did. Great,
you got me. I don't give you credit. I just give myself credit.
But no, I'm fine with South Carolina being a disappointing team just because, for some reason, I cannot like Shane Beamer.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
he just kind of seems like a douche that I hope does not succeed.
That's some choice words here.
Well, where are we going next, Dylan?
It is what it is.
Ethan, we'll stay with you. What's your NFL Week 2 team of the week?
I gotta go with the Indianapolis Colts. I thought the first week, I thought the Dolphins were just bad. I didn't think the Colts were actually good. for them to come back again and play a really good game. Granted, the Broncos shot themselves in the foot. They should have won that game. But even then, Daniel Jones played great. Is that sustainable? Very much question it. But then again, he also did it versus one of the best teams in the league. So it's a very real possibility he could keep it going. But probably the best win, you can say the Bills probably was the best win, but this is right up there with second best, third best win of the year so far in the NFL.
Yeah, and Shane Steichen's play calling has been fantastic. Just his ability to really keep defenses off balance and really utilizing Jonathan Taylor. We've seen his reemergence after a couple of down years, and that's been the huge that, and then the emergence of drafting Tyler Warren, who looks like an early Rookie of the Year candidate as well. But Grant, what do you got for your team of the week?
I think you have to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. To go on the road on Monday night, and you're playing a really good Houston defense with a really good offensive line. Sorry, a really good defensive line. And Tampa Bay, after one game, just says, we're changing this up. We're going to move our center out to left tackle. The supposedly left tackle, we're going to put him – he's going to go to the bench. Your right tackle is going to get hurt. You're going to have a backup in there. You're still missing, Chris Godwin off the dislocated ankle last year, and you go into Houston. You start the game off great, 2 touchdown drives to start the game, and you're rolling. And then you know what? You get hit with some adversity where it's not looking good, and then when you need a drive to go down and make it happen, Baker and this offense, they go out and they deliver. There feels like there's this quiet confidence brewing in Tampa Bay with Emeka Egbuka, 3 touchdowns in his first 2 games. Baker's looking like an MVP. Todd Bowles is bringing blitzes and pressure from everywhere, and they're getting to opposing teams' quarterbacks. If this team can stay healthy and they can get some of their studs back, and they can get that offensive line, solidified with when Wirfs returns, maybe Dylan's onto something. This team could go far. It's still, like I said, still 15 regular season games to go, but that was just a gritty performance from Tampa Bay on Monday night, and that's why they're my team of the week.
Yeah, that was a great choice. I had them on my list as well, but my team of the week, I think, was the Atlanta Falcons, and mostly the Atlanta Falcons defense, because the knock on them is their inability to get to the quarterback. And granted, the Vikings were about as dinged up on the offensive line as you could be, but Jalen Walker and James Pearson, they got knocked for going and drafting 2 pass rushers. But I didn't hate it, because looking at that Falcons team, that roster, they were a pass rusher away from being a playoff team. And right now, offensively, Penix he played okay I thought on Sunday, but the other part that's really needs to be talked about is the emergence of Zach Robinson's ability to finally utilize Bijan Robinson. He ran the ball really hard on Sunday night, was a big reason. Got the Falcons into field goal range and kicked field goals. And then the defense really never let the Vikings get into any type of rhythm. Anytime it felt like the Vikings did, they found a way to get home or put the Vikings behind the chains. And this Falcons team, they're 1-1 now, but right now it is setting up for, and if these rookie pass rushers can develop, I think the NFC South may be a 2-bid playoff league.
It's very possible.
But
one thing you notice with the Vikings, last year when Blake Cashman missed some time in the regular season, Lions, Rams, 2 of those regular season, 2 of the 3 losses, the Falcons, they just looked at it like, oh, if Cashman's not in, guess what? We have 2 good stud running backs. We're going to make this game easy. We know the Vikes are banged up on the offensive line. We're going to run the ball, dominate time of possession, get after a young quarterback, and have a good game, and they did.
You look good.
Yep. But my disappointing team of the week is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's mostly because of Caleb Johnson and the coaching staff to not inform him, because in college it is a rule that if the ball lands in the end zone, it's a dead ball, it's a touchback. Not in the NFL. And the fact that, I mean, the guy chews their special teams coordinator chews an entire pack of gum at one time. He's too busy chomping on that to not remind his kick returner that the ball, if it lands in the end zone, it's not a dead ball. They can still go pick it up. And then defensively, I kind of understand why the Steelers were a little tentative to go and not pay TJ Watt, because it seems like these last couple of years he's been dinged up a lot, and his production has not been, up to what it was from the last prior years. And these Steelers defense, it's kind of been on that downward trajectory for a couple of years as well. And I think the offense is fine. It's going to be the death of the Steelers might be, or what put Mike Tomlin on the hot seat is going to be their defense. And he's a defensive coach, so he's got to figure it out.
I think their 5 highest paid players are on the defensive side. So for them to suck this bad is rough.
Well, and it's concerning for them in their future, because this is an old defense.
Yeah.
Like, they have to have some of the highest percentage of players over 30 in the NFL, playing right now. So
it's right up there.
Like, literally, their chips are literally all in the middle of the table. Like, Pittsburgh is all in on this year.
Yep. Well, Grant, who do you got for your disappointing team of the week?
I'm going back and forth between two teams, but I'm going to go the Chicago Bears. And more or less just because of their last 5 quarters, they look like they just look like they don't care. And of course, I wasn't able to watch any of the game on Sunday, but when you're a professional football team and you give up over 50 points a game, what did you practice at all last week? I thought Dennis Allen was supposed to be a good defensive coordinator, not a good head coach. And this was all of a sudden coming off a Lions team that week 1 against the Packers, new look defense. The Lions looked like they hadn't practiced all week. Well, what happened in those 7 days? I understand, Jalen Johnson is out, for the Bears, but still to just kind of just lay an egg and not want to do anything. And besides Rome Odunze, does anybody on that Bears offense want to produce? And now you have Ben Johnson already calling out his players after the second week of the season about bad practice habits. It's not good in the Windy City in Chicago right there. And I wonder how much, if their confidence was affected week 1, where, like I said, they didn't show up in the fourth quarter and they kind of gave that game away. Where, credit to the Vikings, in week 1, they didn't give up and they kept working. Well, the Bears, they quit working and gave up, and they thought they could win this thing. And it showed last week. And like I said, anytime you're in a professional sports in the NFL and you give up 50 points a game on defense, I don't think you practiced or cared or tried it all that week. And that's just unacceptable.
Yep.
Well, fair.
That was a rough one to watch if you were a Bears fan. But Ethan, who do you got for your disappointing team of the week?
I'm going to go with the Commanders. Second straight week, they've been underwhelming. Yes, they held the Giants to 6 points, whatever it was. I think they only scored 21. So we're still kind of seeing exactly what we saw last year. They can beat the bad teams, but can they compete with the good teams? Like, I know the score was like a 9-point game versus the Packers, or 7 point. It was never that close. It never felt that close for anyone that watched it.
It felt like a 27-point game.
Yeah, it never felt like, even when they closed it within, I think they got it within 7 at one point. It never felt
still
close
running.
to that. Yeah, like it just, you knew they weren't going to win. Yeah, they're just very underwhelming so far. Now you have Jaden Daniels banged up. I didn't think Daniels is going to have a good year. as last year. That's being proven right now. Like Terry McLaurin was going to have touchdown regression. That's being proven right now. Like a lot of things that went well last year for them weren't going to go well again this year. And I don't think they've adjusted very well to that. And they look like the same team.
Yeah. But we'll stick with you, Ethan. Do you want to do college football or do we want to stay with the NFL?
Let's stay with the NFL. Why not?
All right, stay with the NFL. Week 3, game of the week. What do you got for us?
I'm going with a NFC powerhouse battle: Rams Eagles.
Ooh.
Gonna be low scoring. Two of the best defenses in the league. I think the Rams defense has been absolutely phenomenal this year. Eagles have been good too. Obviously, holding the Chiefs to 17, no matter who's playing on that, it's good. But really going to come down. I know it always comes down, but who's going to win the trenches? Who can actually establish the run is going to be what wins this game on Sunday. I believe they're a 325 game, but the Eagles got to pass. If they're going to win the game, they have to throw the ball. The Rams aren't going to let them just kind of do this BS chucking it, or not even chucking it, just barely picking away, going down 6-7 yards at a time. It's just not going to happen. They're going to have to get A.J. Brown going. If they don't, I think the Rams are away with it.
Yeah, I also think I'm very curious to see how this game is going to be officiated because of how much the tush push got exposed on Sunday for the amount of times that the Eagles could have been false starting or lining up offside. Will they call it? I'm very interested to see if that has changed. You saw Dean Blandino go on and say he's done with the tush push. So we are probably it's going to be officiated. I think I wouldn't be shocked if it's officiated differently. And at next year's league meeting, it is for sure going to be banned.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
Dylan, I think they will officiate it different. And remember two years ago, the start of the 2023 season, how Juwan Taylor was always probably false starting or he got that early jump.
Yes.
In his first game with the Chiefs. That week were the outcry. Then the following week, I think he got 3 false starts against the Jaguars that second game. I think you're going to see a backlash like that. And if you don't call people for offsides, they're going to be looking heavy at those 2 guards to see if they're moving early.
Yep.
Nick Sirianni, I want to see him just see how strong Big Dom is because he is going to be screaming at those officials if they start calling false start, which I'm here for because the guy has the most punchable face in the NFL. But Grant, what game do you got for your NFL game of the week?
Maybe the hottest team in the NFL playing against a team who I think their offense needs to get going, and going against this defense, you don't want to do that. That's Broncos Chargers, Sunday afternoon. The Chargers, they look hot. They look extremely well coached, and you can tell there's a confidence and a buzz to this team right now. And I think Denver, as a defense, they're kind of licking their wounds a little bit. They thought they were going to be the best defense in the NFL this year, and the Colts still scored in every possession last week.
Did they touch Daniel Jones at all? I went back and watched that game. I don't think they were within 5 feet of him ever.
I don't think they did, and if you're the Broncos, that's concerning because the strength of your defense is that D-line. After you led the NFL in sacks last year,
you just gave Benito that big contract.
Mm-hmm. And to then now have to play a Chargers team, sure, they're still without Rashawn Slater, but Joe Alt's going to be an All-Pro tackle for the next 12 years. And this Chargers offense, they have that chemistry and that cohesion going, and they're rolling right now. And I don't. It's going to be hard for teams to stop this Chargers offense from getting a lot of yards this year. You might be able to make them kick a couple field goals in a game, but they're going to be moving. And then also the Broncos offense, they need to get going. And you know what? Against this Jesse Minter defense, good luck. Because I think we can finally put to bed the whole sign stealing thing, because what Jesse Minter has done in 20 NFL games is ridiculous. So sorry to all the Ohio State fans out there. and Brandon Walker. Michigan was just better than you, so suck it up and move on. But I'm intrigued to see the Sean Payton, Jesse Minter kind of chess game, on Sunday, because the Broncos, with how confident they were coming into the year, you don't want to start 1-2. And if the Chargers can go 3-0, they're going to be feeling good. They're going to be riding high, knowing they have to start the year 3 straight division games, and you're 3-0. Life would be good in Los Angeles at that
The
new
Chargers
facility.
did lose Mac. I don't know if you saw that for 4. At least
I did.
40.
I did see that, and that's a bummer for them because they don't really. He was their star pass rusher. They rush with such great integrity and play such great team defense. But when you don't have that one horse on the outside, that can maybe change things a little bit. I'm excited for this game on Sunday.
And also, if the Chargers were to win, they would be 3-0, and the Chiefs at best they could be 0-3. I don't think they're going to lose to the Giants, but they'll be 1-2. The Chargers win, the Broncos will be 1-2, and then the Raiders have to fly all the way across country going to Washington
On a short week.
Probably going to be on a short week. Probably going to lose that game too. So if the Chargers were to win, you could be looking at a 2-game lead already a month into the season.
Yeah, that's nuts.
3-0.
Oh, and hypothetically, actually, at this point, a 3-game lead because the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd be 3-0 against their 3-0 in the division too. So big implications early on. My game of the week is we're going to stay in the West here, but we're going to go over to the NFC, and I got 49ers Cardinals. Now, Mac Jones, the guy that I think Kyle Shanahan wanted to draft in the 21 draft, but was forced to take Trey Lance.
So who do you think wanted Lance? Lynch?
I think it was the owners. It was either the owners or Lynch. That I think, and it could have been that. It could have been where the owners stepped in and said, "No, if you guys are going to make this trade, you're going to make a splash. Go make take the high risk, high reward guy in Trey Lance instead of Mac Jones." Because I remember listening early into like what the Niners were going to do, and all implications really said that they were going to take Mac Jones because that's the guy that Kyle Shanahan wanted. Now Kyle Shanahan has his guys for the next 3 to 4 weeks still, with Purdy out with turf toe.
He might play.
Oh, he might.
He was a limited participant today, actually. His toe is healing quicker than expected.
Better than Joe Burrows is what you're saying.
Yeah, Joe Burrows, he's struggling.
It sounds like Joe Burrow, that thing just snapped.
Yeah, the tendons.
That does not sound fun.
Yeah, that tendon or ligament, whatever it is, that thing snapped. And, he's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. But the Cardinals, 2-0, playing well, albeit against some lower-level competition of some bottom feeders of the NFL. But we're going to find out what they're real. And also, I think this Cardinals defense is legit. They've gotten better each year under Jonathan Gannon. They've seemed to make some really nice draft pick signings in Will Johnson, who is a stud. And as long as he can stay healthy, he can shut down one side of the field along with Budda Baker. This Cardinals defense, I think, is good enough to get them into the playoffs. Now, can Kyler Murray stay healthy? Can the offense keep building, or can they find some consistency? Because we've seen these Cardinals teams get out to hot starts each year, but as the season wears along, Kyler's body gets worn down. He spends a little bit too much time playing Call of Duty, and they kind of peter out towards the end of the year. Is it something that they're going to be able to figure out and kind of sustain that level of success to stay in the playoff hunt all 18 weeks of the NFL season? We're going to see, and I think a good way to put it to the test is in this game against the 49ers.
I will say, Dylan, Will Johnson did not practice today with a groin, and neither did their other corner. Their other corner was limited, so big problems if that's Will Johnson and him aren't playing this week.
That would be a problem, yes.
Will Johnson just cannot escape the injury bug, can he?
No, which is a shame.
It is.
It is, but that's our week 3 game of the week. Let's go over to the college ranks here, and we've got our week 4 Beth Mullins game of the week here, and we're going to some Friday night lights at Kinnick, Rutgers versus Iowa. Now,
Yeah.
Iowa's offense, they actually found some last week, albeit against UMass. But Rutgers is Rutgers, and it's a if you got some good high school football in your area Friday night, go choose that because nobody's going to want to watch this Iowa Rutgers game. It's going to be about a 13-10 game. Going to be about 4 or 5 turnovers. Going to not be something you're going to want to keep your eyes on.
Sounds
You know, fun fact for you, Dylan and guys here. I haven't watched a single snap of Iowa yet this year. And I don't think that's going to change.
Iowa than you have then.
You have. And I don't think that's going to change on Friday.
We're going to Apple Fest on Friday.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change. And you know what? I'm okay with that, guys. Can I be honest? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think next week I'll just say this. I think we're not going to pick our own Beth Mullins game of the week because the matchup for next week's Beth Mullins game, it's going to speak for itself. That's all I'm going to say here. Yes. Yeah. You'll have to just go look at next week's schedule, Grant. You'll figure it out. If you just go look at the week 4 Big Ten slate, you'll understand. But
okay.
That's next week. Grant, you're up. What do you got for your Beth Mullins game of the week?
You know, there's a lot of them out there. Like low key, this is kind of a bad weekend of college football. But I have to go with a matchup of 2 0-3 teams, a team who just fired their head coach, and Wofford versus Virginia Tech. Like Dylan, is this the same Wofford team that Grant Olson had 29 tackles against?
That is the Wofford team. I watched that game 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got down a rabbit hole of watching old NDSU games, and that game was. I was like, I kind of wanted to go back and watch it, and that was an ugly. That was a defensive slobber knocker.
Yeah, and then I'm watching all these other teams like Wofford, Missouri State, James Madison, all these other teams. Maybe Wofford's still in the FCS, but if they're not, get accepted into the FBS. And I'm like, what have these schools done to deserve to get moved up to high ranks of Division I football? Sam Houston State and NDSU is stuck in Fargo at the FCS level. Like I just don't understand that. And Virginia Tech, well, they're 0-3. They don't have a head coach. That program has just got to be in shambles, which is also a note for athletic directors across America. Don't hire a coordinator to be the first-time head coach at the Power 4 level. They're just not ready for it.
Yep.
No. Kirby Smart's an outlier.
Kirby Smart is an outlier.
But Ethan?
I'm going to go Tulsa, Oklahoma State.
I had that on the list. I had that one of those.
That's the other Friday game, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, they look so bad. Tulsa, they've won one game. It was versus school. Just horrendous. I don't even know who the hell they are. But it's going to be bad. I don't know if it's on TV. If it is, it shouldn't be, and they should just take it off.
That should be the game on the CW.
Oh.
That should be. But if you had to pick a Jefferson Pilot game of the week, I think if we picked it communally, you guys would agree. And it actually boiled down to about 2 different choices here. I'll run them by both of you. Let you guys pick: UAB versus Tennessee or Northern Illinois versus Mississippi State.
They don't sound great.
Oh, who's Tennessee playing again?
UAB. Trent
Oh,
Dilfer.
I'd have to go with UAB versus Tennessee.
Yeah, I just want to see Trent Dilfer get his shit.
Yeah, because something tells me Tennessee's going to come out this week pissed off and score about 77 points.
Yeah.
Or Grant, can I get you to entice you to stay up on Saturday night? If you had to choose, guys, between watching in this game and I'll go off Central Time. This game is scheduled for a 10 p.m. kickoff on Fox, Michigan State at USC.
I saw that.
Or and this game isn't on the ESPN app. It's not even listed of where this is going to be televised at. Fresno State at Hawaii. This one is scheduled for 10:59 p.m. Central Time.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
You know, if we really want to go,
That has to be on
Louisiana's going to be.
That game has to be on CBS Sports Network.
It has to be.
I don't know if it is.
There's no way it's not. You could also go Southeastern Louisiana versus LSU. I mean, champion gets crowned capital of Louisiana.
Yeah. But either of those would those get you guys to stay up and watch?
No.
I mean, if I got home and I was like super, super, super tired and I just wanted some white noise in the background, and then when I wake up at 2 a.m. Yeah, exactly. And then when I wake up at 2 a.m. On the couch and I see, oh, hey, this game's in the fourth quarter. If there was like 3 minutes left, I might stay up for it. But besides that, I'm pretty sure I'd be falling asleep really fast.
Yeah.
I had to run it by you guys and get your opinion on it. But God, there's not many times I feel bad for Michigan State fans, but having to stay up to watch your team play at 11 o'clock at night for an 11 o'clock kick. Good luck.
I mean, who would have thought coming into the year, you could go out to the bars in East Lansing, Michigan. You could go to bar close, come home, and the Spartans are still playing a football game.
Yeah. You think the bars are going to stay open later for that because of this game?
They're going to stay open until 3.
Yeah, because they're on East Coast timeline too. Jesus.
They are.
You know, if it was a basketball game, I think I could see them doing that, but I don't think they care enough for football too.
No.
Yeah.
Because not this Michigan State team. Like if it would have been those teams like 10 years ago, maybe, but not now.
No. But Ethan, we'll stay with you. Let's go to some better games people actually want to tune into here. What's your Week 4 game of the week?
I really wanted to go Tulane Ole Miss, but I have talked this other team up for the better part of the last month. I feel like I should buy a shirt and cheer for them. Illinois, Indiana, out in Bloomington. To be honest, game day should be there. It's an absolutely ridiculous thing that they're not. Illinois, they get to prove it. They actually a top 10 team. I'm sure a lot of people don't buy it. I do. I think they're really good. For Indiana, people probably think last year's a fluke. This is a great opportunity to show the country that wasn't a fluke. We're here. This is legit. Mendoza, he can really put his name on the NFL radar, and it already is. For like your moderate fans, like no one has a freaking clue who this kid is, but he can absolutely sling it. Same goes with Altmaier. Most fans have no clue who Altmaier is. He's a really damn good quarterback too. These are both really good teams. Fantastic matchup in Bloomington.
And I'm going with it. I want Illinois to win because Kurt Cignetti, Nick Sirianni has the most punchable face in the NFL. Kurt Cignetti has to be like one of the top 5 coaches of most punchable faces. I cannot cheer for that guy. I will never cheer for that guy to win. So give me the Illini. Grant, your Week 4 game of the week. What do you got for us?
Just to really piggyback off Ethan about how this should be where game day goes. It proves that money is ruining college sports. Because really, game day, we're going to go to South Florida and we're going to promote the Florida Gators after their quarterback just threw 5 interceptions on Saturday because
And then they
this
get
is, quote,
yeah.
the Battle of Florida, and just because that this is the game on ABC that Herb Street's going to, that they don't want to pay for him for his
Maybe I
flight.
get it if they beat Miami, but they got the doors blown off.
Oh, you're saying Florida?
Yeah, South Florida.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's whatever, and it's becoming impossible to watch. But actually, my game of the week is actually on the station in the game that I can't stand most weeks because I feel like they take away what should be good night games. It's big noon, Texas Tech versus Utah.
Yeah, this is on my list.
Texas Tech, you want to prove that you are that team. We'll go into Salt Lake City, play in some altitude, and get a big win on the road.
Show us what the oil
$26
money
million
really
going to get put to the test.
Yeah, but, now it's time to nut up or shut up. If you're Texas Tech, you're not in Lubbock anymore. You're going on the road. It's probably actually going to be 10 a.m. in Salt Lake City when this kicks, and that's another thing that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Why can we not let this game be at least an 11 a.m. kickoff in Salt Lake City? It's ridiculous. The fact that we're going to make these kids get up and play at 10 just for this TV game of the week so Fox can have 3 games on Saturday. It needs to stop. No college football game should be kicked off before 11 a.m. But who knows? We could see this as a Big 12 title game rematch. Later on in the year in December, and 2 teams I think with playoff implications. So we'll see who's ready to shine early in the year, Texas Tech or Utah.
Yeah, and Ethan, you are correct. Tulsa does play Oklahoma State on Friday. As I was looking up this game, the Texas Tech Utah game.
Yeah.
But my game of the week, and I'm bouncing around here, so maybe I'll let you two decide for me. I'm bouncing between Auburn, Oklahoma, or Missouri, South Carolina here.
Oh, definitely the first one. You got Jackson Arnold going to the former team.
Yeah, that's kind of. And if South Carolina would have beaten Vanderbilt, I think that would have made this choice a little bit easier. But now I'm feeling a little bit more uneasy or being proven right, which I don't want to feel proven right because I'm not like you, Grant. I really like Shane Beamer. I think he's a good coach. I think South Carolina would be stupid to fire him. Be curious to see if he pursues the Virginia Tech job, coach where his dad was. But both teams. I think Oklahoma had a big win against Michigan. The Mateer right now it appears is to be the early Heisman favorite, and Jackson Arnold has kind of had a bit of a resurgence under Hugh Freeze. Auburn looks like a really good team. Looks like a good team, much better than last year. We're going to see. I think this game is going to be close. Can Auburn reverse what the issues that they've had the last few years under Hugh Freeze is losing these close games? Can they turn one of those games into a win here? But Auburn,
Dylan,
Oklahoma.
To your point, a lot of those games, Auburn has had leads.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And blown those leads. Like I go back even 2 years ago when they played Georgia in Auburn. They had a lead in the 4th quarter. And then all of a sudden they decided not to tackle Brock Bowers for 2 late 4th quarter touchdowns.
Bad choice.
And then, the Alabama game, the miracle to Isaiah Bond. They have leads. They just decide to piss them away.
Yep. And maybe them switching to Nike is what changed it, which is still weird for me to see Auburn with the Nike swoosh instead of the Under Armour sign here because I think just sometimes it's just what it's meant to be. Auburn is meant to have Under Armour jerseys, not Nike. Am I crazy when I say that?
No, you're
Nebraska,
right.
It would be weird if they didn't have Adidas.
You're spot on. Like when I think of Auburn, I think of Under Armour
or Texas A&M. If they didn't have Adidas. It would be weird.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you're
So
you're 100%. You're 100% spot on.
okay, okay, I'm glad to know I'm not crazy. But yeah, Auburn, Oklahoma, my Week 4 game of the week here. So fellas, we've got we're just gonna wrap up the show here with curveball of the week. And Grant, what do you got for us? What is the curveball that you've been cooking up for the last week?
So, question for you guys is, I want to know what is like a sports team that you just strongly despise or can never root for again because you had an interaction with someone from their fan base. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
you met fans who cheer for Team X, and you cannot cheer for Team X anymore just because those fans were just such d-bags or assholes, and you were just like, I can never root for this team ever again.
Oh, it's so easy, Cubs. That was the worst 3 months of my life in Iowa City
Mm-hmm.
when they won the World Series.
And then Ethan, can you share a story maybe on why the Cubs fans are just assholes and you can't root for the Cubs anymore? Is there a certain story that sticks out in your mind? Because the team I
Just
have,
that whole playoff
it sticks
run,
out.
how annoying they were. Just the
Mm-hmm.
whole playoff run, it was just horrible. All you hear is, "Oh, the Cubs this, Cubs that." Like everyone's out.
Fly
to
the
get us.
W.
No one gives a shit. Fly whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But I don't care. Just don't do it in my face.
You know, that's what happens when you don't win for 100 years. And then all of a sudden you think people should feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine, and it's not because of an interaction I've had with fans. Uh, I will say any team that Kurt Signetti coaches, and I've never
Okay.
really explained my disdain for the guy because I really don't have a reason. I should love the guy because anytime he plays an NDSU team, NDSU kicks his ass here. But it started after they lost in the 2019 national championship with his comments about, oh, and like the players, oh, we ran out of time. And then when they played in the semifinals, their players were starting fights before the game. The guy just runs his mouth. But the part that really just set me off about the guy, and anytime that he loses, it's never Kurt Signetti's fault. It's always everybody else's fault except his. The part that really just set me off about him was the 2020 FC. This is when he was the head coach at James Madison. And when the playoff bracket came out, he was complaining about the playoff seeding and how they should be at home. And I thought James Madison was good enough to win the national title that spring season. And the line came out, and they were playing Sam Houston State in the semis. The line came out, Sam Houston was favorite, and I'm like, I just watched James Madison. Sam Houston is going to get the doors blown off them at home. And James Madison was up, I can't remember what the score, it was like 21-3 or something, and at halftime. And what happened? Completely pissed the game away. And I may or may not have had a wager on how much of on the money line that James Madison was going to win. That may or may not have something to do with it. And for me it was a pretty good amount. And in the post-game press conference, this guy has the audacity to say the only reason we lost this game was because we should have been playing it at home. Were you saying that we should have been playing it at home when you were up 21-3 at halftime, Kurt Signetti? No, shut up. Finish the game. You don't play a game for 30 minutes. You play for 60. You got to play and compete for 60 minutes. You preach it probably all the time, except when it's inconvenient for your sorry, pathetic ass.
Wow.
I love it. I love the fact that Dylan lost a bunch of money to this guy. He's just a grown complainer. His glasses look like he doesn't need to wear them. He wears the stupid double headset like my headphones right now, where coaches, one should stop at the top of the year. That was fantastic. Well said, Dylan.
Thank you. And just the fact against Notre Dame where instead of going into the locker room with his team, he has to stop by the game day set and talk, and then Shane Gillis calls him out. There's just nothing about the guy that has any redeeming qualities. And I'm going to take the victory lap here in 3 years when Indiana Kansas ass.
Mm-hmm.
But Grant, I've ranted long enough. Grant, which team has given you this your idea for the question that you will never root for?
That would be the Penn State Nittany Lions, their football team. And actually, Dylan and Ethan, you guys were with me when we ran into these fans that Friday night before the game in 2017. I don't know if you remember this.
There, mentally was
yep,
little spotty.
So this was like one of the first places we went to that weekend, Dylan, and I remember this distinctly because full circle moment, the 2017 NFL regular season that ended there. The Super Bowl was going to be in Minneapolis, so where I'm at, and we're at some restaurant in Iowa City, bar, whatever you want to call it, and then we see a couple Penn State fans, and we get to talking to them. They're like, "Oh yeah, we came into town, for the weekend, wanted to catch the game, all of this and that." And then we asked them where they were from. They're like, "Oh, they were from Philadelphia." Okay, so they're from the big city out east. They're coming to Iowa to watch the game, and then they ask us all where we're from. They first asked Ethan. Ethan goes, "Oh, I'm from Wilmer, Minnesota." They're like, "Where the fuck is this?" Then Dylan was like, "Oh, I'm from Dickinson, North Dakota." And then they really said, "Where the fuck is this?" And then I was just like, I'm going to be generic. And I'm going to be like, "Oh, hey, I'm from Minneapolis, coming down. Bigger city in the Midwest. They should know it." They look at me with the most smug look on their face after I said Minneapolis. And they're like, "Oh, and I quote, yeah, I've heard of that city before." I was just, oh my God. You elitist from the Northeast. Congratulations. You're from Philadelphia and you root for the fighting pedophiles. I was just like, get out of here with that bullshit, that comment right there. And then the worst part is the Super Bowl was in Minneapolis. Those guys were from Philadelphia, and the Eagles won the Super Bowl that year, and they beat the Vikings' ass in the NFC title game.
Yeah, that's what you call an ass kicking, and it's even worse when it's from people you don't like.
Exactly, and just like the comment, "Oh, I've heard of that city before." Like, really? Like, I'm not saying Minneapolis is the greatest city in the world and people come here to vacation, but come on, it's a big enough city where people around the country know it. You don't have to act like it's some town of 5,000 people with 2 stop signs, a barbershop, a bar, and a post office. Like, come on.
I'm not gonna lie, Grant. I'm a little bit shocked. I thought for sure it was going to be the Cincinnati Bengals of that team that you will never cheer for.
Well, I haven't ran into any Bengals fans.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point.
You see where I'm coming from? Like, I haven't had to listen to some Bengals fan call it Burrowhead because he won a playoff game there, and yes, he was the first quarterback to win 3 in a row against the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. As a quarterback, I haven't ran into anyone with that, but just the arrogance coming from those Penn State fans. "Oh yeah, I've heard of Minneapolis before." Like, okay, cool. You're from Philadelphia. That doesn't make me want to talk to you and be jealous. It's just like, God, these assholes. They truly think they're better than us out east.
Yeah, well, they are. And also I was just thinking about this too, Grant. You lucky SOB. Joe Burrow getting turf toe, and you basically avoided Skyline Chili for the year.
Probably, yeah.
God dang it.
I didn't think about that. There's always next year.
There's always next year. Okay, so we're rolling it over into next year. All right. I like that.
Yes, we are.
It's live on air, so it has to.
Yep.
It has to happen.
There's a history.
All right. Well,
but if Jake Browning plays great, and they meet hypothetically in the playoffs, and if the Bengals win, I will still eat Skyline chili this year.
If Jake Browning beats the Chiefs in the playoffs, I think you have to eat 2 bowls of Skyline chili. Ethan, what do you say? I think that's a pretty fair.
I think that's more than fair. Yeah.
All right,
that's
so
fair.
if Jake Browning beats the Chiefs in the playoffs, Grant's got to eat 2 bowls of Skyline chili. We'll let Grant pick the noodles, but Ethan and I get to pick the canned chili.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna be rough.
Well, and I'll save the comment for what I'm going to say after we're done recording. But thank you to everybody who has tuned in. Make sure you follow all of us on all of our socials. 3G TV podcast. Like, rate, subscribe, and review. Thank you again for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.